What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jay. This is Prepared Citizens Training Group. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Today I want to go over the proper application of a CAT tourniquet. For those of you that don't know, CAT is an acronym for Combat Application Tourniquet because the military loves acronyms. They're fun. They make you sound cool. Specifically, this one is a North American Rescue brand, which is kind of the OGs, if you will. These work very well. They're a little pricey, but they work very well. I sell rhino rescues throughout my training and experience with them. They work just as good. They're a little cheaper. But if you like North American Rescue and you can afford it, these are the OGs. So they have the best proven track record. Alright, so North American Rescue, when you buy these, the cool thing about North American Rescue is they come prepped already. And this is exactly how you're going to pull it out of the pack. So that's good. If you hear any voices, it's not those little voices in your head at this time. It's actually my family upstairs. It's bedtime and we're getting kiddos wrangled up for bed. So guys, pull your tourniquet out of your kit. This is how it's going to be. I'm going to use my left arm for the extremity that needs a tourniquet, and we're going to go over step by step the application process, proper application process. So, step one, once you pull it out, you want to open it up, and it's going to be like so. If it's for high up on a leg, depending on the size of the person's leg, you may have to pull your tab and go ahead and open it more, or completely open it and thread it through. The situation will dictate that, but for training purposes, we're just going to put it on our arm. Once it's sort of kind of in the area I want it, I'm going to find my little red tab down here, and I am going to pull it out a little bit. I'm going to get a good bite on it, and I am going to pull it as hard as I can. Okay. Now, I'm going to kind of get it stuck to itself and just let it hang right here. I do want to mention 90% of the tension applied with this tourniquet needs to come from that initial pull. Okay, this T-handle here is not designed to sit here and just crank on to get it tight. That initial pull, that needs to be 90% or more of the tightness applied with this tourniquet. So now that I have done that, hook the tail to itself so it's just kind of hanging there. Now I'm going to go to my windlass T-handle and I'm going to turn it tight as I can get it. And I'm going to, let's go ahead and we can get another one. And this is very, very painful. Not gonna lie, I've done this a few times though, so I'm used to it. Once we get it really, really tight, person's in pain because tourniquets hurt, but they save lives. We're gonna hook part of that one end of the T-handle in one of these ears, depending on which way you turn it. And now, this is a little trick I like to do. I like to take the rest of this tail, I like to put it through those ears. And then take my little time tab and put it over. The reason I do that is because the way we were trained, if we had to drag someone, this tail could get stuck on something. Now you can tie this tail off. You can do all sorts of crazy things, go back through or whatever. But usually that one pull through and putting that tab over it, that'll do you good. And it should not get stuck on anything, snag on anything, and pull it out. Okay, so that is the proper application of a CAT tourniquet on yourself, on your one of your arms. Now, I can already feel my arm going pretty numb at this point. But one thing I want to mention too, this is very, very important for people, my people that's been to professional training classes on this kind of stuff or military law enforcement. y'all probably already know this, but for those of you that have not, I want to stress this to you. It's very important. Do not, after you get this applied and on, don't just yank it off. Don't just take it off. You need to, if you're by yourself, what I do is go to my bathroom, I look in the mirror, and I say, okay, training is over. I'm going to take the tourniquet off now. And the reason I do that is because it's very important that you train yourself not to fiddle or mess with a tourniquet once you've applied it. Whoever the patient, whoever you put it on in this emergency, if you have to apply it to someone else, chances are they're going to be screaming how bad that tourniquet's hurting and begging you to loosen it. They're going to be begging you because it's going to be hurting, especially someone that's never had to experience that. And you're just going to have to explain to them, I'm really sorry, but this is going to save your life. And do not mess with it. So tourniquet is no longer yours at this point. It'll be up to the doctors or hospital or whoever to remove it and throw it away. It's done at that point. Let's see. One more thing I want to mention. I've talked to a couple of different doctors, and I've heard people say that there's a lot of tourniquets that come through the ER that are on that are not necessary. And I've had a couple folks ask me that. And I wanted to address that by saying, if you're not sure, I'd rather put a tourniquet on and it not be needed than to need one and not apply one, if that makes sense. Also, I've been asked another big question. Do I need to check for a pulse, like if they're unresponsive and there's just like bleeding out of an extremity and they look possibly deceased? I'm not sure. Do I need to like be checking for vitals and all that? My answer to that is I'd rather put a tourniquet on a dead person than come to find out later they might have been alive and that tourniquet might would have saved their life. Okay, just a couple of things to think about when carrying this equipment. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please let me know. Guys, always be an asset to those around you, not a liability. God bless.